There's more to life than football, money and fun. Well, not much.
Kick off the new season with Talksports £1 million Predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season.
Play it in the van. Play it on the can. Play it with your gran.
Win £1 million sterling.
It's the biggest prize in the history of Talksport.
The Talksport £1 million Predictor game. Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions. The Premier League preview show with Talksport.
Sanchez wants runners. There's 6 players on the edge of the area to aim for. One is Smalling! Unbelievable scenes at the Etihad Stadium. It's 3-2 to Manchester United.
Talksport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
A great week for Tottenham Hotspur, but still some way off the leading pack. Chris Pereyra, former Spurs defender, is with us. I didn't want him on, but he's here anyway. Former Chelsea man, Clive Walker's with us.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com and then hear every kick on Premier League Live.
Oxlade-Chamberlain goes down, but he still finds Salah, who makes it 2 to Liverpool. 1 chance, 1 goal, number 20 for the Egyptian magician.
Listen to the show on talksport.com.
One planet, one game, one football. The all-new One Football app is available right now for iOS, Android and Windows phones. With all the latest football news, live scores, results, highlights and more from the Premier League, Champions League and hundreds of international competitions. Download the One Football app from your app store today to follow all the Premier League matches with live text commentary and vote for your man of the match. One Football, the best app for football fans. If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. Talksports International Service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
A line of bodies along the edge of the 6-yard box. Ericsson just rifles it in, and Harry Kane is there to head in almost on the goal line. More Premier League goals in a calendar year than any other player in history.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Edge of the box is Solanke. Through to Mo Salah, who scores! Number 32! Mo Salah, the record breaker for Liverpool.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live. Brought to you by TalkSport Live.
You're listening to Talksport's coverage of Watford against Tottenham Hotspur from Vicarage Road. I'm your host Phil Blackett. Alongside me is the former Charlton, Wimbledon and Spurs defender Chris Pereyra. This is Premier League Live. Teams are out on the field in the September sunshine. Let's remind you of how they're lining up today. Watford, it's a very familiar 4-4-2 for the 4th straight game. It's the same starting 11 picked by Abby Grazia. Ben Foster in goal. Back four of Daryl Yanmar, Craig Cathcart, Christian Cabasele and Jose Hollebass, a goal scorer against Crystal Palace here last weekend. Midfield for Will Hughes on the right, Roberto Pereyra on the left. They were both cut infield to join Abdoulaye Doucouré and the former Tottenham man Etienne Capoue. Up front, Andre Gray and the captain Troy Deeney. Gomez, Mariappa, Success, Seymour, Messina, Chalabar and Femenir are the Watford substitutes. Tottenham have Michel Vorm in goal. There is no Hugo Lloris, out with a thigh injury today. It's a back three in front of him, with Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen and Davinson Sanchez coming back into the starting 11. One of 3 changes from the 3-0 win at Manchester United on Monday. Kieran Trippier and Ben Davies the wing backs, Moussa Dembele, Dele Alli and Christian Eriksen in midfield, and Lucas Moura in support of the captain Harry Kane up front. Paulo Gazzaniga drafted onto the bench in Lloris's absence. Rose, Winks, Dyer, Wanyama, Walker-Peters and Llorente are the rest of the Spurs substitutes. 2 100% starts to the season on the line at Vicarage Road today. Watford winning their first 3 games of the season in the top division for the first time in their history. An entirely changed 11-1 at Reading in the League Cup in the week as well, to set up actually another trip to Tottenham in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. Watford have never won the opening 5 games of a season in all competitions in their history. That is the target against Tottenham today, but it is a Tottenham team that they've never beaten in the Premier League. This is the 11th meeting between the clubs in this division, and Spurs aiming to equal their best ever Premier League start. They won the first 4 back in 2009 under Harry Redknapp. Any time they've won more than the first 4 in a league season was back in 1960 when they went on to take the title. They have won 5 on the bounce. Maurizio Pochettino's side in the top flight either side of the summer, and it is they that will get the game started here. Both teams in their traditional colours this afternoon. Tottenham in the white shirts, blue shorts, white socks. Watford in the gold and black. The referee who will get the action started very shortly is Andre Mariner. Favourite official really of both of these teams. Watford unbeaten in the last 5. He's taken charge of Tottenham in the last 9. That's his whistle that gets the action underway. Christian Eriksen with a kickoff. Tottenham playing, as we look at it, from left to right. And Chris Perry, the start going to be so fascinating between these two informed teams.
I think to see the differences in the formations, I think are going to be crucial. I think very interesting that Mauricio Pochettino's gone with the 3 at the back for the Spurs. And how really Watford are going to deal with that. Certainly Troy Deeney might have to drop very deep, because Spurs are going to have a massive overload in the middle of the pitch against a flat 4-4-2. So Deeney's going to have to drop in and probably deal with Moussa Dembele, who actually you can see he started doing that almost immediately.
Really important role for the Watford captain in particular today. The ball is won back by the Hornets on the far side there, right through Will Hughes. And it breaks for Decore in the middle of the park. He's nominally playing on that right hand side. He will tuck in as Pereyra likes to drift in from the left hand side as well. Try and get them more in the middle of the park, maybe even up the numbers in there. Fascinating tactical tussle in store certainly today. Watford with a period of early possession, working it well on their left hand side for Holebas, who will float it forward, looking for Roberto Pereyra. There's a chase on for him, and when it looked like he was going to get there, up went the offside flag anyway.
Just goes a little bit early, doesn't he, Roberto Pereyra? But that's certainly a space you look to exploit against a team that plays wing-backs. Just in behind the wing-backs, are the centre-backs going to be good enough to come across and deal with players in wide areas? Certainly Alderweireld out there, I would have imagined that Davinson Sanchez might have started as the player on the right-hand side of the pitch with Alderweireld in the centre. Alderweireld certainly not as mobile as Davinson Sanchez, I don't think.
Pereyra in really good form will be looking to test him out at every opportunity. Spurs go long here, trying to find Harry Kane. Nudged away before it could reach him. Dembele battling forward in the midfield, but it's Decore that comes away with it for Watford down their right infield towards Deeney. Touched on for Andre Gray, right hand side of the penalty area, and a sliding challenge to nick it away from Davinson Sanchez when he had to get right, and he did.
Well, he did, and of course Watford had the partnership of Andre Gray and Troy Deeney up front. Andre Gray lightning pace in behind, and that's potentially why Sanchez is playing in the middle, so that he's got the pace to maybe cover around the back of Alderweireld and Vertonghen if Gray makes runs down the side.
He was sent off on Tottenham's last visit here back in December in a 1-1 draw. The cross comes in towards him again. It's well claimed by Michel Vorm. First involvement today for Tottenham's replacement goalkeeper as he deputises for the first time this season for Hugo Lloris. He took that one pretty cleanly.
It's a nice confidence builder for him, wasn't it? It was hung up with a lot of time for him to come and get it, and he comes and claims it. You can see him grasp it. That'll just build his confidence.
Jan Vertonghen working it wide to Ben Davies. Referred to Danny Rose on the left today. Asking Lucas Moura to chase it. Crossfield ball, but it just had a touch too much on it. Runs through for Ben Foster to come and gather. First involvement for the Watford goalkeeper. He's had such an impressive start to his second spell at the club. He was on loan for a couple of seasons at Watford earlier in his career. In fact, you might remember he was beaten by his opposing number, Paul Robinson, back in the day, wasn't it? When they were at time rivalling each other for the England goalkeeper's jersey. Forward by Dele Alli here for Spurs. Again asking Kane to chase it. He will just get there first on the left hand side of the penalty area. Taking on Cathcart. Lucas Moura in the middle. Cavaselli is with him, who got something on it. And it's scrambled clear by Watford, but not yet entirely away from danger. Roberto Pereyra pinned back on the edge of his own penalty area. Helped out by Holebas, who finds touch with the clearance.
Yeah, slightly worrying start that for Watford. It was just a simple ball over the top down the side of Craig Cathcart, who's playing on the right side of the central defence for Watford, and Harry Kane certainly beats him for pace. And that'll be a real worry, because Harry Kane's certainly not the quickest of centre forwards in the league.
No, he was after that one, wasn't he, in making his presence felt. Into September now, which is traditionally when he starts scoring, but of course he put that record to bed with goals in each of his last 2 games in the calendar month of August, which he'd never scored for Spurs before this year, famously.
You fear for anyone else going for the Golden Boot, don't you? He's already 2 ahead of where he's usually at, isn't he? You know, he doesn't score in August, but I think he was really relieved to get that off his back.
And slotting straight into his stride after a Golden Boot winning World Cup summer. There's Davis. We played almost 5 minutes at Vicarage Road on the Premier League Live. Still Watford 0, Tottenham 0 at Talksport Live, our Twitter address. To get in touch with us throughout the course of the commentary, love to hear your thoughts while you're listening to us. As Lucas Moura does well to turn away here from the Watford defence initially into the penalty area. Looks a real handful, doesn't he? Looks a different player at the start of this season from the one that came in January.
Just full of confidence, a lot fitter. He's had a full pre-season behind him. Just looks a lot more comfortable in that white Tottenham shirt.
Roberto with the ball into the feet of Lucas Moura again. He almost ran through for Harry Kane. Almost came back to Lucas as well. In the end, it was neither quite one thing nor the other, and Ben Foster was able to intervene. But Spurs stepping up the pressure.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think the problem for the 2 centre-backs of Watford is going to be the spaces down the side of them that they're going to have to defend against Lucas Moura and Harry Kane, because the 2 full-backs are going to have to step on and deal with the wing-backs.
Christian Eriksen with the attempted ball down the line, the right channel aimed in towards the run of Lucas Moura. Didn't quite got there though, and Ben Foster able to come and clear.
The problem for Watford is if the 2 fullbacks don't step on and deal with Tottenham's wingbacks, then the wingbacks are going to have lots of space and time on the ball just to pick a pass, and Tottenham will have complete control of possession. If they do decide to step out, then the 2 centre-backs have got huge areas in behind them to have to deal with. So it's a real problem for Watford, and they may well have to change their system during this game.
A real conundrum. I think maybe we talked about the consistency of selection and formation for them being an advantage, but Mauricio Pochettino probably knew exactly how they were going to play today and has tweaked his team in response.
Absolutely. It's always difficult for a 4-4-2 when a team plays 3-5-2 or 3-1-4-2, whatever you want to call it. And it's how you deal with the overloads, either in the wide area or in the central area.
Forward here by Alderweireld along down the right. Harry Kane is target, across with a crunching challenge right on the byline was Christian Kabasele.
It's excellent defending, wasn't it, from Kabasele, but simple ball over the top again, able to get Tottenham on the front foot. Kabasele having to slide in and concede the corner.
7 minutes in at Vicarage Road. First corner kick of the game goes the way of the visitors. Plenty of movement in the middle. They brought Sanchez and Alderweireld forward for this. Comes in from the right hand side towards Toby Alderweireld. Lands clear as far as Kieran Trippier. He just touched it off to his right to Eriksen, but the whistle has gone because Kabasele has stayed down in his own penalty area here with the suspicion of a head injury.
Yeah, it was an excellent defensive header actually from Troy Deeney, the skipper for Watford. Just wonder if there's a little clash of heads in here. Hard to see what happened there. Didn't look a lot of contact to his face, did there? Unless it
was Davinson Sanchez and Kabasele who came together just beyond Troy Deeney, who, as you say, cleared it away.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't look to be. Certainly, there was no malicious contact in there. Whether it was an inadvertent knock from Davinson Sanchez's boot or something as he fell to the floor, I'm not too sure.
Just a little break in play. Seeing Sir Elton John on our monitors. He's taking his place in his own stand today.
Yeah, well, he'd still be standing, wouldn't he?
Good one. He certainly would. Sitting comfortably at the moment, though. Not that Watford have begun particularly comfortably here. 0-0 in the first 8 minutes, and Kabasele still receiving treatment. He's in consultation with the Watford medical staff as he walks away for further treatment. Going to be okay, I think, by the looks of this, but it was a pretty hefty blow that he took, the big Belgian.
Yeah. It would have shaken him up, that's for sure, but big centre-half. He's been impressive in these opening 3 games for Watford, and so he'll be looking to stay in the team because there's a lot of competition at centre-back in this Watford squad.
Just missed the cut for Belgium's World Cup squad, but went all the way, of course, to the semi-finals. Jan Vertonghen was on the ball for Tottenham, and the moment one of those that kept him out, and Toby Alderweireld won it long towards Kieran Trippier. He brings it under control, wide on the right, looking to find the feet of Eriksen on the edge of the penalty area, but Watford dealt with the threat. They bring it away through Pereyra. just clips it infield towards Troy Deeney, couldn't quite make it stick inside the centre circle. And Davinson Sanchez is there. He goes all the way back actually to Michel Vorm, just inside his own box to thump it forward. Plenty of distance on that clearance from Vorm up towards Harry Kane. Over 11 years ago now, would you believe, that Paul Robinson scored that goal past Ben Foster in this fixture at White Hart Lane. Foster, as we say, returning to the club this summer from West Bromwich Albion, keeping out the former Tottenham man Aurelio Gomez, who did play at Reading in the Carabao Cup in midweek. A touch infield from Daryl Yanmar. Doucouré under pressure from Dele Alli, though. Just about did enough, Abdoulaye Doucouré. Yanmar is there to help him out, goes across the edge of his own penalty area for Holebas, tight to the touchline. Pereyra calling for it. About the only option really that Holebas has here, but he's demanded to scoop it over the head of Kieran Trippier to try and find Roberto Pereyra. Toby Alderweireld takes it away from him. Game being played at a decent tempo in these first 10 minutes.
It is, both sides looking to be nice and positive when they get it.
It's a good crossfield ball from right to left for Ben Davies, right in front of the dugouts. And that far touchline challenge coming in to dispossess Davis at the expense of the throw on the halfway line. Don't forget to keep your tweets coming in at Talksport Live as our Twitter address. It's the best way to get in touch with us as the game goes on. We'll have to know where you're listening to us today and which way you think it's going to go. Which of these teams can maintain their 100% start to the Premier League season? Join Liverpool and Chelsea in making it 4 wins from 4. Spurs with another throw. They get a few yards down the touchline from the last one. Davis looking for options. Not too many immediately available to him here before it goes into the feet of Christian Eriksen, who was dispossessed by a strong challenge from Yanmar. He put another in against Moussa Dembele there, who did well to ride it. And Alderweireld opens up for him as he strides forward. Finds Kieran Trippier to his right hand side. Well advanced as he will be in this formation. Normally is anyway, even when he's playing nominally as a fullback. As for Tongan, last year's player of the year for Tottenham. Further down that left hand side is Ben Davies to swing in the cross. Led away by Cathcart before it could reach Harry Kane on the near post. Tottenham could come again on the halfway. They're certainly having plenty of the ball.
Yeah, there's the problem for Watford. It's being forced back. Troy Deeney's having to drop back almost into a position just outside his box. What a ball that is.
Onto the head of Dele Alli, who will send it looping goalwards, and it just misses that far post, Ben Foster's right hand post, but it was almost as simple as that. Alderweireld that picked out the run of Dele Alli.
Yeah, Craig Cathcart just switches off completely. It's actually Yanmat doesn't come over and track the run of Dele Alli. It's a long ball from the halfway line from Toby Alderweireld. Dele Alli arrives, tries to head it and loop it over Ben Foster as he comes off his line. Just gets his angles wrong.
It's a combination that has yielded results previously, those long balls from Alderweireld. Dele Alli making the run from midfield. Just couldn't quite profit on that occasion. Lucas Moura battling to win the ball back here. Kane puts Kabasele under pressure. Foster clears up towards Troy Deeney. He's beaten in the air by Davinson Sanchez, but nods it down only into the path of Hughes, who plays it into space wide right for Andre Gray. He will get there with time to take a touch. Bit too much on the cross maybe. Doucouré and Deeney were waiting in the middle. Trippier had to deal with it far side.
Yeah, it wasn't the best ball from Andre Gray. It was a good run in behind, but his cross never really picked anyone out. It was just a hopeful ball into an area easily dealt with by Trippier at the back post.
You're going to see a long throw by the looks of it from Jose Holebas on the Watford left. There's the ball under the jersey, shaping as if he is going to try and hurl this deep into the danger area. Certainly is capable of the long throw from this sort of situation, and here it comes from the Greek left back. It is straight into the heart of the penalty area, headed out by Sanchez. Doucouré trying to bring it under control. Lucas Moura then going down off the ball, claiming he was caught by Doucouré. He's still feeling it. Watford win it back and come again with Holebas cutting in from the left hand side, up against a combination of Trippier and Eriksen. Support from Doucouré. A little further back down the line was Etienne Caput. He goes into the centre circle, and Cathcart, and it's horribly overhit, bounces once and behind for the goal kick.
There's no angle from Cathcart to play that ball. There was no one in a wide area. Just needs to have a touch and keep possession a little more, but certainly the front two are a threat. Deeney and Andre Gray, good movement. Troy Deeney holds the ball up, wins headers so impressively.
Both on target in the win at Burnley. Of course, they've had home wins as well so far this season in some style. Crystal Palace last weekend, They won by 2-1, hanging on a little bit at the end of that one actually, but they got the job done. It's always likely to be tougher. Tottenham throw on the left is taken quickly by Davis, down the line towards Dele Alli, just blocked off there on the byline by Craig Cathcart, who stood his ground at the expense of the corner. It's a good run from Dele Alli, wasn't it? Intelligent run. Took the throw quickly down the left hand side. Ben Davis released Dele Alli, wins a corner. Chance for Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Sanchez all to arrive in the box. Not short of targets, are they, in these sort of situations as we approach the quarter of an hour mark here at Vicarage Road, still goalless on Premier League Live. Kieran Trippier's gone across to the Tottenham left to take the corner with his right foot here. He waits for those in the middle to take their positions, waits for the referee's whistle as well. There is a lot going on off the ball. John J. Mariner wants to be happy with before he does deliver, now right-footed towards the near post area, well defended by Watford as far as Christian Eriksen. Trippier calling for it again, wants to get another chance to deliver, takes a touch and then does so, and Foster comes and makes it his on the edge of his 6-yard box. They dealt with that really well, Watford, didn't they? The initial cross from the corner and then the secondary ball coming into the box. Ben Foster comes and claims confidently. When I look back at that corner, Daryl Janmaat had a hold of Toby Alderweireld's shirt, and had the referee seen it, it was fairly obvious. Obviously the referee wasn't looking at that particular confrontation. To have eyes everywhere there, didn't he? It's so difficult, isn't it? There's so much goes on in penalty areas nowadays. There's Trippier on halfway. Still 0-0, as it is at Turf Moor, between Burnley and Manchester United. A reminder, if you weren't with us earlier, Arsenal were 3-2 winners at Cardiff City. Cardiff twice battling back from behind to equalise, but couldn't quite hang on. There's Cathcart up against Dele Alli again. It puts the pressure on. Cathcart did well under that pressure to complete the clearance, reaches halfway with it. Stooping header down infield by Jan Vertonghen to Christian Eriksen. Alderweireld taking a touch to Trippier in space on the right hand side for Tottenham. Looking for the run maybe of Harry Kane, it's beyond him, but Lucas Moura couldn't yet get on the end of it. Up against Kabasele, but the flag up from the assistant referee Dan Cook on this near side. It's tight, isn't it? He almost gets himself back on side level with Craig Cathcart as the ball floats over the top of Christian Kabasele. What a start he's had to this season, Lucas Moura. He's already played more minutes actually in the Premier League this season than he did in the whole of last year after he was brought in halfway through it from Paris Saint-Germain. 3 goals in his last 2 games now after failing to score in his first 7 in the Premier League. And Son Heung-min will have a job on his hands to get his place back when he returns from international duty. South Korea's gold at the Asian Games means he's avoided military service for his country, so he will be available for Spurs again, but maybe not an automatic starter these days. No, but what a good player to have to come off the bench and to come into the side if required. Roberto Pereyra for Watford brings it under control neatly on their left hand side into the fit of Troy Deeney on the corner of the penalty area. Stamped clear by Davinson Sanchez. One back by Eriksen, it was loose in the midfield. He did well to react quickest and finds Dele Alli striding forward in the centre circle. Hughes going with him. Alli to Harry Kane and back again. They do have space on the far side. Lucas Moura was unmarked for a moment there, but they turned into a little bit of trouble in Tottenham. Couldn't find him. Instead it's Doucouré for Watford. Now Andre Gray from right to left. Good ball for Troy Deeney. Brings it down on the chest. Had the time and space to do that. Hits Dele Alli with the initial attempt at the crossfield ball. It bounces back into the path of the Watford captain. Goes infield this time towards Doucouré. Janmaat in support of the attack on that right hand side. Will clip in the cross, right footed. Deeney trying to attack it against Toby Alderweireld, who just about did enough up against Troy Deeney there, but that was better from Watford. Yeah, it's good play from Watford. The ball gets spread wide from Doucouré. Janmaat one touch, whips the cross in, and Kieran Trippier there's got to do a lot more to help Toby Alderweireld out. Alderweireld stuck underneath the ball. He's got Troy Deeney's got a run on him. Kieran Trippier just needs to step across him there and just block Troy Deeney's run. Deeney making his presence felt in the penalty area, certainly. Just had a nervous moment, I think, for Michel Vorm in the Tottenham goal. He has somewhat unnecessarily conceded the set piece here, enabling Watford to try and keep the pressure on. It gives them the chance to bring both centre backs, Kabasele and Cathcart, forward for what will be a corner on the far side. See Pochettino just demanding clarification actually on the touchline. It's taken short by Will Hughes as it's turned out into the feet of Decore. Everybody's still forward, so it'll be launched long by Capu now into that penalty area. Sanchez getting his head to it. Battle on for Pereyra against Davinson Sanchez on the far side of the field, and he just ultimately ran out of room, claiming he was shoved off the pitch, but the assistant referee Scott Ledger was within a foot or so of him and clearly shook his head at that suggestion.
It's good defending, wasn't it, from Davinson Sanchez? You know, he really has come into this Tottenham team and impressed over the last year.
Back in the team today, one of those 3 changes from Monday night at Old Trafford. Myanmar with the ball forward, cut out by Dele Alli. Lucas Moura tried to lay it off first time into the path of Harry Kane, but Watford clear on halfway. And there's a chase on now for Alderweireld that he wasn't quite going to get to. It does run for the Tottenham throw anyway. He was, I think, content in the knowledge that it would go his side's way. And leaves it here for Kieran Trippier to take, almost level with the edge of their own penalty area. We've played 20 minutes on Premier League Live. Still Watford 0, Tottenham 0. At Talksport Live, our Twitter address, Kissy White has tweeted us predicting a 2-1 Spurs win today. Let's have your thoughts wherever you're listening to us around the world. At Talksport Live, that's where to get in touch with us. Trippier with the throw down the line. Met on halfway there by Holebas. Etienne Capu to Will Hughes and back again. Capu, of course, featuring against his former club, but he's been dispossessed. Christian Eriksen playing it forward towards Lucas Moura. Challenges by Hughes on Lucas, and that's a Spurs free kick just inside the Watford half.
Well, it's an important challenge actually by Will Hughes. He got dragged all the way across to the left-hand side of the pitch, but if he didn't make that challenge, Ben Davies was in acres of space as he is now on the left-hand side.
He's found by Christian Eriksen. Davies tried to deliver the cross. It was blocked by Myanmar, who got across to him. And now Hughes helping out his fullback, as he's going to be asked to do pretty regularly, you would have thought today. Watford still have it, but on the edge of their own penalty area with Craig Cathcart. Like Will Hughes has had significant injury problems in recent seasons, but both getting a regular run in this Watford side now. Hughes broke into it at the end of last season and is starting an 11th Premier League game in succession today, the former Derby man. Eriksen finding Dele Alli here, good ball in towards Lucas Moura, who was trying to get his shot away. Kabasele just about got back to him as Foster came racing off his line to smother it at the feet of Lucas Moura.
It's a brilliant ball from Dele Alli, defence splitting pass, good strength actually from Kabasele, quick to react to the danger, just gets enough of a shove on Lucas Moura to put him off as Ben Davies came out and dived at his feet.
It was a good piece of play all round, really, wasn't it? The through ball, the run that Lucas had made, and the defending.
I wonder if maybe Lucas Moura's first touch had been more to his left-hand side. He may have been able to get a shot
possibly,
off.
Yeah. Spurs appealing for another free kick here, which they will get just inside the Watford half for a challenge on Harry Kane. They tried to take it quickly, not able to do that, but it will be brought back here for Tottenham as we approach the midway point of this first half at Vicarage Road. Nothing in it yet between these two teams who start with 100% records in the Premier League. Jan Vertonghen forward to Ben Davies down the Tottenham left. Infield towards Dele Alli. Reminder, they've met 10 times previously in the Premier League, and Watford are yet to win any of them. 3 draws and 7 successes for Spurs. Forward it goes by Davies towards Dele Alli. Just nicked away from him by Decore. He's got plenty of defensive duties to do in that midfield role, as I'm sure he would expect today. And will settle for the throw on the edge of their own penalty area.
Dele Alli is so good at timing runs into the box. As we just see the challenge again. I mean, you could easily give that as a penalty. Certainly, Kabasele, when he recovers, doesn't get any of the ball. Just forces Lucas Moura underneath it. It's a lovely pass from Dele Alli, wasn't it? Perfectly weighted. But Lucas Moura's touch was just to his right hand side, a little bit further to his left, and Kabasele certainly would have been able to make the challenge.
And as it is, the angle he was making the challenge from, it was always risky, like you say.
It was.
It does give the referee the opportunity maybe to award a penalty.
I think next season, VAR would have had a look at that one, that's for sure.
Yeah, quite possibly. A few of those, that's maybe not the most contentious, but every weekend it seems to throw up such incidents where VAR would have made a difference. The Premier League, only one of Europe's big leagues yet to bring in the system. Sure, we'll probably see it this time next year. Here's Ben Davies, goes infield but gives it away. Actually straight to Troy Deeney, beats the ground as Davies in frustration as Watford venture forward with Etienne Capu, who's made good ground into the Tottenham half. Checks back in field again now. Finds his midfield colleague, Abdoulaye Decore. He will have competition for his place again, Will Capu now, because Nathaniel Chalobah made his first start against Reading after that horror injury he suffered almost a year ago. It was a nervous moment in the Watford midfield, giving the ball away under pressure from Lucas Moura. He does seem to incite a little bit of panic.
He's got fantastic pace, isn't he? And he's very elusive when he gets on the ball.
Vincent Sanchez on the ball now, stepping out from centre-back to win it inside the centre circle. Christian Eriksen to Jan Vertonghen further wide on the left. Davis, corner of the penalty area now is Dele Alli. He's tracked by Will Hughes, goes infield for Eriksen. Ali had made a clever run. Daryl Janmaat had spotted it though and read the danger, just got there first, and then he actually came off Eriksen, so it's going to go Watford's way here. Still pinned back inside their own half of the field, 0-0 on Premier League Live.
Tottenham certainly dominating possession, aren't they? They're forcing Watford back, not really created a clear goal scoring opportunity as yet, but they look comfortable.
Hussein on Twitter wants Spurs and Watford to play to an intriguing draw. He's listening to us from Lagos in Nigeria. The ball is played forward by Watford down their right hand side for Andre Gray. He'll get to it ahead of Sanchez, who was strong, stood his ground against Gray, and then comes away with the ball. Actually keeps it in on that far touchline and clears towards halfway. It will be returned though by Watford. Doucouré forward to Gray again. His return ball just a fraction behind Abdoulaye Doucouré. We are talking about the merest of margins in this match at the moment, as Jan Vertonghen clears for Spurs to halfway. Harry Kane holds it up. First touch wasn't the best, but he still has it, and then tries to find Dele Alli. It's just beyond him, and Daryl Janmaat is able to look up and see that his route back to the goalkeeper Ben Foster is a pretty safe one. Foster clears to halfway. Down goes Deeney. No free kick forthcoming. Dembele on the ball instead. Troy Deeney still down. As Moussa Dembele plays it into the foot of Dele Alli. Ben Davies takes over. Dele Alli gets it back again. Heavily involved so far in the opening quarter of the contest. Fixture that he tends to relish. Dele Alli, 4 goals he's got against Watford. Only scored more against Southampton actually in terms of Premier League opposition. It's Kieran Trippier here into the foot of Lucas Moura, and back, and now Trippier to swing it in. Foster a little off his line, thought about coming and changed his mind. It was met beyond the far post there by Dele Alli, trying to return it into the penalty area, but Watford cleared a halfway. Deeney's done well against Vertonghen, who tries to get back to him and does get back to him. Humps the ball away with a really well-timed challenge for Tottenham Hotspur to win the ball back. Eriksen and pings it forward. Lucas Moura will give chase. Foster's come outside of his penalty area, tries to shepherd it out of play, and to his relief the ball does just creep beyond the byline for the goal kick.
I think that's risky play from Ben Foster there. The ball never had enough pace to go out. Lucas Moura was all over the back of him. I think he just comes out there, puts it into the stand, deals with the danger. He's taking a big risk there. He only has to get that wrong slightly, and maybe he fouls Lucas Moura, or Lucas Moura nicks it off him, and they haven't got a goalkeeper in position.
It was a risk, wasn't it? So far, both sides have taken 1 or 2 chances and haven't been made to pay. We played 27 minutes at Vicarage Road on Premier League Live, still goalless. Watford on the ball. Little touch infield from Holebas, and we'll get it again from Etienne Capoue. Returns it deep into his own half to Christian Kabasele. 1 or 2 murmurs of discontent or anxiety from the home fans in response to that before Cathcart goes long. That's a better ball, but it's just going to bounce away from Holebas, who lashes out at a water bottle on the touchline in frustration because he couldn't quite reach the match ball.
I'm not sure whether he's frustrated at himself or whether he's frustrated at the pass. I thought it was an excellent attempt at the pass from Cathcart. Long 50-yard diagonal pass out to the left-hand side, and I think Holebas, if he was a few years younger, might well have got on the end of it.
All he succeeded in doing was giving the cameraman a soaking actually as he sent that bottle flying towards him. Still have it though, Spurs now on the edge of their own penalty area, having taken the throw, which resulted after that. It's forward by Ben Davies down their left-hand side. It's a well-weighted ball, but Harry Kane just seemed to stop his run. He expected Foster to get there. Keeper was a little hesitant as well on the edge of the penalty area, but he was able to clear it away.
Yeah, the ball was actually played to Harry Kane. I think had the ball got played straight through the middle of the Watford defence to Dele Alli, who'd made a run and had got 5-6 yards ahead of Etienne Capoue.
There's Dele Alli. Roberto Pereyra trying to prevent him from getting the shot away. Just about managed that, but instead it's a square ball for Kieran Trippier on the right of the penalty area. Trippier infield towards Lucas, bounces back to the fullback again under pressure from Pereyra. He's claiming the corner kick, which I think they're going to get here, Spurs, 29 minutes in. Whilst they bring players forward for this, we can get goal news from Turf Moor.
Sanchez guides a lovely ball in towards Lukaku, who gives Manchester United the lead. He has barely made an appearance this afternoon, Romelu Lukaku.
Has made an appearance on the score sheet. United in front at Old Trafford as the Spurs corner comes in towards Harry Kane. Vertonghen up from the back as well, couldn't quite get there. Clearance is only as far as Ben Davies. They're still midway inside the Watford half here as Spurs. Dembele to Christian Eriksen. Eriksen on the right boot, curls it in. Davinson Sanchez tried to get something on it, and his presence made it awkward for Foster. It's out only as far as Lucas Moura, who sends his right-footed shot from range flashing across the face of goal and wide, but that was awkward. Just a moment ago, the really dangerous ball in by Eriksen. Foster couldn't hold it, just seemed to bounce off his chest.
Yeah, not convincing from Ben Foster, was it? Eriksen's shot come cross, just bounced up awkwardly in front of him. He couldn't grasp it to his chest. Just came back out to Lucas Moura on the volley at the edge of the penalty area, and he put the volley wide.
So Foster able to clear away, but only after a scare. Maybe just put off by the presence of Sanchez, as they say, right in front of him. Little touch from Kane in the centre circle. Lucas Moura would have been in on goal, but for the sliding challenge of Kabasele. Had to win that and did. Again, it's another of those fine margins.
They're very fine margins at the moment, and you have to feel that Tottenham are just applying the pressure and turning the screw. And you'd expect this Watford backline to break at some stage.
And they come again. Davis delivering from the left. He's been picked out by Eriksen. It's blocked by Cathcart. Janmaat tries to clear it on the edge of his own penalty area. Davis was in the way initially. Dele Alli is there as well, but Will Hughes did well under pressure, and he's helped out on the touchline by Andre Gray. For the challenge from Vertonghen, and in the circumstances, half an hour in here, Watford will settle for the throw.
Well, they just need to get a little bit of possession. They're been worked from one side of the pitch to the other. Defensively, they're having to work so hard to stay in this game. They're getting dragged out of position by the runs of the Tottenham players and Tottenham's shape. And you just feel that they're hanging on in there a little bit.
Throw taken in towards Troy Deeney. Comes back towards Hughes again now. Andre Gray sliding in. Got a foot in it, but it was beyond Deeney. Had a battle with Eriksen to win it. He did win it though for Watford and finds Hollebat surging forward down the left. Support wider from Roberto Pereyra. He's been forced towards the corner flag, but he has possession as he tries to hold off the attentions of Kieran Trippier. That's easier said than done. And Trippier did really well to come away with the ball. He plays it down the line. Harry Kane just gets to it first ahead of Capu. Kabasele now is beaten by Kane.
It was a foul, Kane, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was claiming it was foul.
He didn't go down, did he? He didn't go down, Harry Kane. To his credit, he stood up, and it was a certain foul.
He's actually won the throw, which he's taken himself here very quickly. Harry Kane almost into the run of Dele Alli. Certainly what he was looking for. And tracking that run all the way across from the far side is the fullback Daryl Janmaat.
Yeah, they're having to do so much work tracking the runs. Dele Alli's runs from midfield have been excellently timed. He just gallops forward through the middle of that Watford defence, and Janmaat is having to cover so much ground to get over.
Again, he's conceded the corner as a result. Christian Eriksen to take it for Spurs on their right-hand side. Just waiting for those to venture forward from the back again. He's actually touched it short to Kieran Trippier, who will now deliver the cross into the danger area. It's headed out by Janmaat and further clear by Hughes. Still not convinced by the short corner routine. Never seemed to necessarily gain an advantage.
I think you take a short corner to try and drag maybe two players out of the box to leave more space for your players to attack it, but Watford just left one out there, so they didn't end up really creating any more space, Tottenham.
And Sanchez, he doesn't have a lot of space either on the edge of his own penalty area, and the pressure from Andre Gray goes back to Michel Vorm. Touch from Alderweireld to Trippier. We'll just about reach halfway with that. So Hollebat is forced to check his run to pick up possession. Ben Foster's come a long way out of his area. There's more pace on the back pass to him from Hollebat than he wanted. It was tricky for Foster. His first touch wasn't a good one, and neither really was his clearance, because he's only found Trippier with it. He tries to return it towards Eriksen on the edge of the penalty area. Watford clear up towards Troy Deeney. Alderweireld gets a foot in. Eriksen can't make it stick. Decore is there. It's all a little bit frantic for Watford though.
Yeah, they're panicking a little bit, aren't they? They've not had any real periods of possession. That's what they need at the moment, some controlled possession of the ball.
Might have the opportunity now as Capu finds Daryl Janmaat down that right hand side. He will float it forward. Alderweireld is a ball from Alderweireld, that panicky header of his own away from the penalty area, but certainly not out of play. Straight to a Watford shirt. Roberto Pereyra has it inside the penalty area. Deeney with a dink ball, looking for the run of Pereyra. He had continued that run. Davinson Sanchez with the challenge, and the referee thinks given the corner here.
I think he's given the goal kick. I think there's a good little reverse pass from Troy Deeney into the run of Pereyra. Davinson Sanchez goes to ground early. think the referee's got it wrong if he hasn't given the corner, because Pereyra certainly doesn't get the last touch. He looks to come off with Davinson Sanchez. Just got a toe to it right on the byline, I think, didn't he, looking at the replay we've just seen there. Davinson Sanchez. Of course, Andre Mariner not having that luxury, and you're right, he's given the goal kick, and it looked like it maybe should have gone the other way. Towering header by Kabasele to meet it. Dele Alli on halfway. This is Ben Davies forward for Spurs. Kane able to let it run into his path, finds Lucas. Lovely little back heel for Christian Eriksen. His space quickly closed down by Eddie Nketiah. Eriksen still has it, but Watford back in position with bodies behind the ball. Moussa Dembele to Kieran Trippier. Trippier gets it back from Kane and then plays it out towards the right hand side for Lucas Moura, who made the darting run into that part of the pitch. Collects possession ahead of Kabasele. Finds Kieran Trippier. Back towards Lucas Moura. Get just a pocket of space momentarily in the corner of the penalty area. As I say, it didn't last long. It's Kabasele with a block on the byline. Another Tottenham corner though. Just applying pressure after pressure. Watford can't get out of their own half for any period of time. Corner kick number 5 for Spurs already. Heading for the final 10 minutes of this first half on Premier League Live. Still Watford 0, Tottenham 0. Ben Davies, left-footed from the right-hand side, is going to take this latest corner for Spurs. Headed clear from right on the edge of the 6-yard box by Etienne Capoue. Cathcart to try and get it away again when it's returned by Tottenham. Nobody can quite get hold of this. Watford clear now towards halfway. Eriksen gets his head on it. Now Janmar couldn't bring it under control either. Dele Alli forward. He was looking for Kane. It was cleared by Kabasele out towards that far side. Vertonghen challenging for the battling ball, which he thought was going to go for the throw until the presence of Will Hughes. He wheels away, wincing. Caught on the arm, it appears, but goes for the Tottenham throw. They've taken it very quickly. Moussa Dembele away from Troy Deeney. Here's Davis, time to take a touch, goes back in field. Dembele again. Tottenham keep possession. They've certainly had the vast majority of it in this first half. Sanchez to Alderweireld. The Tottenham centre-backs combine now. Further wide on the right-hand side is Kieran Trippier. Again, Lucas has made the run for him. A run tracked by Kabasele. Made the initial challenge. Assistant referee flagging for the free kick. Yeah, Kabasele has got Lucas Moura with his back to goal, right in the 3 or 4 yards in from the corner flag, and he just goes to ground and gives away a really poor, cheap free kick. Kieran Trippier has run up to this as quick as he can. He's going to be delivering this into the penalty area. 5 yards from the byline and 5 yards in from the touchline, so very similar to a corner really. Two-man wall for Watford just being assembled just inside their own penalty area. Trippier and Ben Davies stand over it, the two wing-backs in consultation. Ben Foster busy organising his Watford defensive, very congested inside his 6-yard area as they wait for this Tottenham free kick. It's going to be taken by Kieran Trippier. Davies standing over it. Trippier's picked out Eriksen on the edge of the box, whips it in. Oh, and Dele Alli can't turn it in. Far side. Would have been offside, I think. Flag up, and it wouldn't have counted. Not that he was able to get the touch anyway. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a really well worked free kick from Tottenham. Trippier cuts it back to the edge of the box. Dele Alli, I don't think was offside. No. I think Harry Kane was, but Dele Alli, I don't think he was. I think he was level when that was clear. Clipped back in by Eriksen, and he misses an absolute sitter with his right foot at the back post. Yeah, contentious one in many respects that, because you're right, Kane was the one that was offside, but he was beyond Dele Alli, didn't actually get involved in that, certainly didn't get a touch to it. Ultimately, academic because of the flag, and Dele Alli might be ultimately relieved about that, because otherwise it would have to go down as a shocking miss, really. I think when you're in that sort of position as a player, you think you're offside, so Dele Alli's probably just not concentrating on the finish because he thinks he's offside, but he wasn't. 38 played at Vicarage Road. Still we await the breakthrough on Premier League Live. Bowled out by Michel Vorm, just about kept in play, very tight to the touchline by Kieran Trippier, who hucks it forward in the direction of Lucas Moura. Kabasele going down under that challenge, and this time Watford do get the decision from Andre Mariner. Well, ironic cheers from the Watford fans. Certainly they feel that some decisions have gone against them. I don't think so. I think the referee's got quite a lot right. Not been the easiest of games really for Andre Mariner, because there's been a lot of marginal calls so far, hasn't there? Yeah, absolutely. At Talksport Live, by the way, our Twitter address. Jeremiah is listening to us from Cape Coast in Ghana via City FM. We've got Rob Diamond tuned in from Canada's smallest province, loving the coverage. He'll tune in, he says, every Sunday.
Jason listening from a very humid Philippines, predicting a 2-0 Spurs win. Got some defending to do here though. It's Watford on the attack, in towards Will Hughes. Stick the ball over his own head, didn't quite have the space for that. Cleared away by Spurs before he could really do any damage. Decore tries to keep it alive, far side for Watford, won it well. Hughes then goes down and does get the free kick. A challenge from behind from Ben Davies.
It's a cheap free kick. Clever from Will Hughes, just felt some sort of contact from Davies, went to ground.
Another opportunity for Watford to get the ball into the danger area perhaps as we head towards the final 5 of the first half. Still waiting for the breakthrough here. Just to remind you, it's Burnley 0, Manchester United 1 at Turf Moor. Romelu Lukaku with the only goal so far in that one. They started the same time we did. Arsenal 3-2 winners in the early kick-off at Cardiff City. Here's the Watford free kick, swung in from that left-hand side by Holebas. I think it was gathered up by Michel Vorm. Of course, we saw an attempted cross from Holebas sail in and score against Crystal Palace last weekend, even by his own admission. That one wasn't intentional. Maybe got a taste for it though. Certainly didn't unduly trouble Vorm this time. He hasn't had an awful lot to do in this first half so far. Davis back to Dele Alli, just inside his own half of the field. Landmark appearance for Dele Alli today. It's his 150th in the Tottenham shirt. Been quite a rapid rise for him, hasn't it, since that move from MK Dons. Regular these days for club and country. Forward on that left-hand side by Davis, where Dele Alli had made the run again, which has become one of his trademarks. Just gets caught under the feet of Moussa Dembele. Offers the hand of apology as it runs away from him, and how to play for the Watford throw. Both managers pacing along on the edge of their technical areas, waiting I think maybe for half-time just to tweak one or two things.
Yeah, I don't think Pochettino will be overly pleased with this first half. They've dominated the ball, but they haven't forced Ben Foster into any sort of save really.
And they come down the left with Lucas Moura, but he runs away from him. Still work for Cathcart to do. The Corre's under pressure as well from Lucas. He does come away with it, although he's crowded out of it to an extent, so goes back to Dembele. Infield now, Toby Alderweireld. Midway inside the Watford half here, the Spurs centre-back, another raking crossfield ball. He spotted Kieran Trippier, and it needed the touch from Holebas just to nick it away from danger for another Tottenham corner.
So good, his distribution from the back, Toby Alderweireld, looking for that diagonal run from Kieran Trippier in from the right wing-back position, in behind Holebas. Had to concede the corner.
Ericsson waiting to take this one. No shortage of set-piece specialists in this Spurs side. We've seen Davis and Trippier and Ericsson all take their share so far today. It's the Dane to deliver this one, which is only cleared to the edge of the penalty area towards Ben Davies. Just off balance really when he struck it left-footed from outside the area. Got underneath it and got nowhere near the target with it.
Yeah, it was always going to be a spectacular effort for him to score from there, wasn't it? It came out, set up nicely actually to be hit on the half volley, but such a difficult technique to get right. Ben Davies ended up skewing it off the outside of his left foot into the crowd.
He'll be one of those away with his country when the first international break of the Premier League season gets going. Called up by Wales for their games against the Republic of Ireland and Denmark actually, where he could come up against his club colleague Christian Eriksen. Going to be cleared away here by Ben Foster. That's 3 minutes of the first half, 0-0 on Premier League Live. Kevin Mitchell with us driving through Minnesota today, supporting Spurs. Will's listening to us from Long Beach Island in the US. Also across the Manchester United game today. A reminder they're still 1-0 up at Burnley. Still we wait for the first goal of the afternoon in Hertfordshire. It will be a free kick here for Spurs though, midway inside the Watford half on the Tottenham right. Kieran Trippier just ordered back a few paces by Andre Mariner before he's able to take it, quite a few actually as it turns out, and he'll wait now for those in white to venture a little further forward. Let's see everybody back for Watford here, all in a line as it stands on the edge of their own penalty area, waiting for this ball in from Kieran Trippier, who strikes it now, whips it in right-footed. Sanchez going up for the header, down towards Dele Alli in the penalty area, trying to turn, just crowded out of it on the edge of the 6-yard box there. You could see what he was trying, didn't really have the room.
He went for the spectacular, didn't he, Dele Alli, just trying to flick it up and hit it on the volley, and Holebas just nipped in and took it off his toe.
Corners keep coming. As a result, Kieran Trippier is going to take this one on the Tottenham right, as the majority of them have been so far. Everybody come forward for the free kick, stays forward for the corner, in by Trippier. Glanced away by Eddie Nkapu. Haven't yet reached halfway with it though. Ben Davies will return it for Spurs towards Dele Alli, backpedaling as he chests it down and keeps it in play on the Tottenham left, into the path of Jan Vertonghen to deliver the cross. Sanchez, his fellow centre-back, had stayed forward. Vertonghen picked out the head of the Colombian there, but he can't quite guide it on target, just wide of the angle of post and bar.
That's probably the best chance that Tottenham have had there. That's a free header, 10 yards out. Davinson Sanchez should be doing better. Just seeing the Dele Alli skill in the box. He flicks it over Doucouré's foot brilliantly, looking to turn and swivel and hit it with his right foot towards goal, but Holibas read the situation and cleared the danger.
Nearly, but not quite, something of the story of this first half so far. Sanchez showing his threat in the opposing penalty area, because he was the one that nodded it down to Dele Alli. Should have done better, really, with the header that followed. I said just wide. It was well wide, actually, in the end, wasn't it, that one? When the opportunity presented itself to the centre-back. Looking to make some rather happier memories at Vicarage Road after last season's red card, the first of his European career, the former Ajax man. Played in field by Kieran Trippier, was a poor one though. He's presented possession to Will Hughes. Roberto Pereyra trying to pick up the pieces for Watford. Just scooped it over the head of Andre Gray. Spurs can't get too far with the clearance. The Hornets have it back here, still inside the Tottenham half. Holibas clips it in field, left-footed towards Will Hughes. Sanchez got there first. Lucas Moura helps it further away towards Harry Kane. First touch was a heavy one, but he was able to stretch to reach it. And Eriksson finds Dele Alli, might open up here for Spurs as we go into one added minute at the end of this first half. Still with Dele Alli in a central position, about 30 yards from goal now, as he works it out to the Tottenham right and Kieran Trippier. Back infield for Toby Alderweireld. Will shepherd it infield to Sanchez. Andre Gray is working hard, closing down the Tottenham defence in those sort of situations. Vertonghen keeps it in play on that far side, but it could yet actually come back to cost Tottenham, because it's Daryl Janmaat that comes away with it. Now space in the centre circle for Troy Deeney, and space for him to drive forward as well to try and get his shot away in the end, which he didn't connect with cleanly at all. It was always ambitious from there. It was about 30 yards from goal, and it came through, almost trickled through in the end to Michel Vorm.
It was the old-fashioned P-roller, wasn't it? Poor effort from Troy Deeney, but it's been a competitive half.
That was the last kick off the half. There goes Andre Mariner's whistle. Well, Tottenham, the visiting side, dominating possession, but not really able to create too many clear-cut opportunities. Michel Vorm rarely threatened, though, at the other end either, as these sides, to an extent, cancelled each other out in the first 45 minutes, and we're still no nearer knowing which of them, if either, can maintain their 100% start to the season. Half-time at Vicarage Road. It remains Watford 0, Tottenham 0. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League preview show with Talksport.
Sanchez wants runners. There's 6 players on the edge of the area to aim for. One is Smalling! Unbelievable scenes at the Etihad Stadium. It's 3-2 to Manchester United.
Talksports Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Southampton struggling down the bottom. We're joined by a survivor of their great escape team in 1999, Francis Bernali. Former Bluebirds defender Danny Gabardine joins us on the Premier League preview show.
Subscribe to the podcast today at Talksport.com, and then hear every kick on Premier League Live.
Oxlade-Chamberlain goes down, we still find Salah, who makes it 2 to Liverpool. 1 chance, 1 goal, number 20 for the Egyptian magician.
Listen to the show on Talksport.com.
Go to Talksport.com and sign up now to play the free Talksport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click Talksport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The Talksport English Premier League Predictor game, available online and for free at Talksport.com/predictor.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. Talksports International Service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
A line of bodies along the edge of the 6-yard box. Eriksson just rifles it in, and Harry Kane is there to head in almost on the goal line. More Premier League goals in a calendar year than any other player in history.
Line.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @Talksport Live on Twitter.
Edge of the box is Solanke. Through to Mo Salah! Who scores? Number 32! Mo Salah, the record breaker for Liverpool!
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live. Brought to you by Talksport Live.
There's more to life than football, money and fun. Well, not much.
Kick off the new season with Talksport's £1 million predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season.
Play it in the van. Play it on the can. Play it with your gran.
Win £1 million sterling.
It's the biggest prize in the history of Talksport.
The Talksport £1 million predictor game. Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions.
We're at half-time at Vicarage Road. Two teams, Watford and Tottenham, trying to maintain their 100% starts to the season, and nothing between them so far. This is the story of the first 45.
Opposition just outside his box. What a ball that is.
Onto the head of Dele Alli, who will send it looping goalwards, and it just misses that far post, Ben Foster's right-hand post, but it was almost as simple as that. Alderweireld that picked out the run of Dele Alli.
Great cap guy, just switches off completely. It's actually Janmaat doesn't come over, track the run of Dele Alli. It's a long ball from the halfway line from Toby Alderweireld. Dele Alli arrives, tries to head it and loop it over Ben Foster as he comes off his line.
It's Dele Alli with the initial attempt at the crossfield ball. It bounces back into the path of the Watford captain. Goes infield this time towards Decore. Janmaat in support of the attack on that right-hand side. Will clip it across right-footed. Deeney trying to attack it against Toby Alderweireld. He just about did enough up against Troy Deeney there, but that was better from Watford.
Yeah, it's good play from Watford. The ball gets spread wide from Decore. Janmaat one touch, whips the cross in, and Kieran Trippier then's got to do a lot more to help Toby Alderweireld out. Alderweireld stuck underneath the ball. He's got Troy Deeney's got to run on him. Kieran Trippier just needs to step across in there and just block Troy Deeney's run.
It's going to be taken by Kieran Trippier. Davis standing over it. Trippier's picked out Ericsson on the edge of the box, whips it in. Oh, and Dele Alli can't turn it in. Far side. Would have been offside, I think. Flag up, and it wouldn't have counted. Not that he was able to get the touch anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a really well worked free kick from Tottenham. Trippier cuts it back to the edge of the box. Dele Alli, I don't think was offside.
No.
I think Harry Kane was, but Dele Alli, I don't think he was. I think he was level when that was clear. Clipped back in by Ericsson, and he misses an absolute sitter with his right foot at the back post.
So 0-0 at half-time. Those the major moments.